I swear, when I get the most conscious women who come into my space, the number one thing that they all say is like, holy fuck, I feel like I've come full circle. And there's a very specific reason why, because in the entrepreneurial life cycle, there is a initial spark, that initial like, fuck, I want to do this. I want to create this. I want to launch this. I want to lead this, right? That initial spark that comes through your body, that, my sweet friend, is not of you. That is of the divine. That is your God spark coming through you, being like, go, move, take action, right? And those of you who are in the top 1%, you move fast, you take action, you do the thing. But this is what always naturally happens, is you start to tip into more of a strategic analyzing phase, where it's like, ooh, when I did this, this is what happened. If I tweak this, if I shift this, if I overconsume this and I do it her way, you slowly but surely, you start to come away from that God spark, and you start to overconsume other people's content, other people's strategies, other people's ways of building and scaling their business. Now, this is where when you dip into this almost like super egoic energy in your business of like, I have to figure this out. I have to know the way. I have to land on the strategy. I just have to work harder. It's almost like this wounded masculine energy that starts to come out. When you start to get to that point is when you are the furthest away from God. You are the furthest away from your intuitive spark. You are the furthest away from that internal knowing. That's why it feels like shit. This is why people hit burnout, hit resentment, hit frustration in their business, not because you are not fucking brilliant, but because you are so far away from your internal knowing, and you've outsourced that to so many people on the internet, well-meaning mentors, people who are doing successful things, people who are siphoning your attention. And this is what happens, is when you reach that I'm done moment, that like, fuck this, like I'm not doing this way, all of a sudden you start to go back up the life cycle. You start to get closer to God because you fully surrender. What does surrender mean? It doesn't mean indifference. It doesn't mean I'm throwing up my hands. It doesn't mean I don't want this anymore. Surrender means I am not trying to control this. I am not trying to control the outcome, the how. Do you know who has the how? God. Do you know who has the perfect strategy, the perfect business plan for you? God. Do you know who doesn't? Other people on the internet. So when you finally surrender in your business, where you're like, you know what? I'm doing this to feel good, to feel in full expression of myself, to feel expansive as the human being, the self-leadership that I embody. I am doing this for me. Thus, it is the ripple effect to my audience, to my clients, to my customers. But I am doing this for me, and I'm going to do it in a way that feels so good and surrenders the control back to God. And the minute that you step back into that energy, it feels like you come full circle, because you're like, well, shit, this is how I started this business. And all of a sudden, guess what happens? Everything starts to fucking click into place. This is because you are back into your inner knowing, your God-given frequency. This is your truth. You stop outsourcing it and you surrender the control. Watch how God works in your business.